Hello, welcome back. It's great to see you again, everyone. It's week 8. Wow, we're officially halfway through our semester, and it's going really well. Once again, I got your emails, a few very good questions from some of you, and seems like a lot of you seem quite, happy or confident in how you're progressing with TOEFL, and I'm really happy to see that. Most of you are finishing the work on time. Or in the amount of time, the exercises and the review exercises, and I'm getting a feeling that the practice is paying off and improvement is there. So remember, TOEFL is all about the English that you know, but also knowing the test. And the only way to know the test is through study and practice, like what we're doing. Okay, this is week 8. Next week is the midterm test. Unfortunately, I have decided not to give the midterm test here on campus. Just too many of you can't make it. I understand. It's not a complaint or a negative thing at all. A lot of you have very legitimate reasons. Those of you that said you cannot make it all have legitimate reasons why you cannot come. But I do not believe it's right to give some people a test in class and some online. There's no way to make it fair for everyone. The test must be the same for all students in all classes, and therefore we'll do it online. Hopefully the final test, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can meet for the final test here in class. But the midterm will be therefore reading only, no listening, and it'll be based on the first 4 units, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the first 4 reading skills in the book. And so I would suggest reviewing them, making sure you're comfortable with the question types. The test will have 3 reading passages, and one of them will be from the book. One will be a passage that we've studied together, but with some different questions, not all the same ones as in the book. And 2 passages will be new. And they'll be a bit longer. One will be full length, like a full length TOEFL passage, and one will be almost full length. What will happen is I will send you an email to remind you in the morning next week that the test is coming up in the afternoon, and that you should be ready maybe 5 minutes before the exam. You should be online and ready to go, 5 minutes before your exam, and I'll send it to you with this. I'll tell you you have this much time, this many minutes, and you must answer the questions. You can send me an email, just in your email, number 1A, number 2A, number 3B, like this, and send it to me within that time. If you're late, up to 5 minutes, you'll lose 20% of your score. And if you're more than 5 minutes late, you'll just receive a 0. So obviously time is critically important, and we have to be careful about time because it's an online exam, and I'm sure you understand. So if you have any questions about next week's midterm exam, please ask me this week in an email. It'll be the last chance to ask me. Okay, so that's enough of the test, I believe. Let's get into week 8 study. I sent you an email this morning with the lecture notes. Please have a look and let's read through the homework together. Page 53, passage 3, the Clovis culture. Okay, we're looking at skill number 5, which is facts. Okay, details, facts from the passage. Now the key here is synonyms and restatements. Look for an answer that says the same thing with different words. That's really the key, and it's really good reading practice because you're looking for synonyms, you're looking for things that a good writer does when he or she writes an academic paper. A good writer uses synonyms and restatements. A good writer does not repeat the same thing over and over. So it's really good academic practice anyway. Okay, archaeologists, Gogo Hak, Found sites, places all over North America that contain similar tools dating from. Dating from means coming from. Dating from this time, 12,000 years ago. Okay, so 12,000 years ago. What year is this? Well, roughly 2000, right? Let's just say I Chanjum. In the bigger picture, we think it's plus 2000. 2021, but anyway, plus 2000. So minus 2,000 is 0. Minus 10,000 more is 12,000 years ago. Therefore, number 11 is A. They come from 10,000 BC. Clovis, where is Clovis? Now, Clovis is in New Mexico. If you're not familiar with American geography, this can be a bit confusing, I admit. New Mexico is part of the United States. It's a state. It is not part of Mexico. Yes, that's confusing. Mexico is a country directly south of the United States, and New Mexico is a state in the United States that is on the border with Mexico. Mexico's northern border and the U.S.'s southern border. New Mexico is next to Texas. It's between Texas and Arizona in the southwest. It's mostly deserts, but also some mountains. Very beautiful state if you have a chance to go. So Clovis is therefore not in Mexico, and it was not founded in 1932. Founded means created or started. A city or a town is founded means when they first become a city or a town. D, number 12 is D, the remnants of the ancient culture. The remnants, we've seen this word before, means what is remaining, what remains. The remnants of a dead animal, the bones, the teeth, what is remaining after everything else decays. The remnants of an ancient culture would therefore be artifacts, okay? Artifacts, we learn this word here, yumul. Artifact, art, made by man. Artifacts are things that we find made by man, not by nature. So, a bowl, a knife, a hunting tool, jewelry, these sorts of things are what we find that are man-made artifacts, and they are remnants of an ancient culture. D. Number 13, the last sentence here of paragraph 1. The tools are quite sophisticated. Okay, is this a new word? It's a good word to know. Okay, sophisticated basically means very modern for its time, very cutting edge. Leading, like a sophisticated computer would be the most modern or advanced cutting edge computer. We talk about sophisticated, technology and even sophisticated methods of research in different fields. So C, rather advanced. Look at A, 13A is the opposite. Rudimentary is the opposite of sophisticated. It means very basic, very simple. Okay, notice the term the Old World, the Americas. Okay, again, the Old World, capital O, capital W, refers to the Western Hemisphere, the Americas. Paragraph 2, 14, line 3. All of the Clovis finds, now, finds here is a plural noun, not a verb. Finds means the artifacts, the yumul, what we have found, that are the remnants of this civilization. Come from approximately the same period, a fact which suggests that the Clovis spread rapidly throughout the North American continent. Sure, they talk about New Mexico, Montana. Montana's actually where my family's from, and that's in the northern part of the United States next to the Canadian border, very far from New Mexico. Nova Scotia in Canada is very, very far east. It's near New England. It's the most eastern part of Canada, and it's north of New England in the U.S. Spread rapidly, therefore expanded relatively quickly. 14 is B. Spread out, expanded rapidly, quickly. Complete restatement. And the last one, migrating seasonally. A couple of you asked about this. It's a bit confusing, but let's look at it. Migrate. When we think of migration, there's people, there's animals that move. Whales and fish migrate for for food and for mating. And bears and foxes and birds and lots of animals migrate. Why? For food, for the climate. They go from north to south in the winter for warmer weather, more food. Maybe they want to mate in the warmer climate, and then they come back north in the summer when it's warmer in the north. This is migrating seasonally. Okay, nomadic people. Nomads are Yumongmin, nomads or nomadic people. They migrate. And of course, when you migrate, you're following nature. You're following the seasons. So the key is therefore summer and winter. Those are the main two extreme seasons where you must migrate. Otherwise, it's too cold or too hot in one place or another. D, summers and winters in different places. Okay, that was a good one. That was a bit tough. There's some good technical terms there, but it's a really good sample passage. Brown dwarfs, Nanjengi, right? Well, these are, dwarfs are stars, are objects in the sky, or as we call them, heavenly objects, right? Objects in the sky, or celestial objects. A celestial body that has never quite become a star, kind of a star, but not quite. A typical brown dwarf has a mass that is 8% or less than that of the sun. Okay, remember we're looking at facts and details, and we're looking for restatements. A mass that is 8% or less, much smaller than the sun. Number 16a, smaller than the mass of the sun. 8% is much smaller. Paragraph 2, it contracts at a steady rate, a constant regular rate, smaller, and after it is contracted as much as possible, as much as possible means no more, finished, or maximum, the maximum amount. Number 17 is B, complete, finished, done, maximum, no more. It begins to cool off, and after a period of 2 to 3 billion years, its emission of light is so weak that it can be difficult to observe from Earth. Okay, weak light, difficult to observe, difficult to see. Number 17 is B. It cools off, this is number 18, A. Weak light makes it difficult to see, and 17 is B. Contraction is finished. As I said, the much as possible, complete, or finished. So 16 is A, 17 is B, and 18 is A. The emission is to send out. We talk about car, vehicle emission, the smoke that is sent out, emitted from the pipe of your car or truck. Number 19, paragraph 3, because of these characteristics of a brown dwarf, it can be easily distinguished from stars. Distinguished means separated. You distinguish something. Remember the parking lot distinguished by colors. Red is for teachers and yellow is for students. That kind of thing. To separate something, to differentiate something, is to distinguish it. Its surface temperature is relatively cool, and because its internal composition, what it is made of, internal composition, composed of, made of, is about 75% hydrogen. See, 3/4 of the core. Internal composition, the inside core, what it is made of, is 75% hydrogen, or 3/4, 75%. A white dwarf, in contrast, has gone through a long period when it burns hydrogen, followed by another long period in which it burns the helium created by the burning of hydrogen, and then ends up with a core that consists predominantly oxygen and carbon with only a thin layer of hydrogen. It is no longer predominantly hydrogen. It is predominantly oxygen and carbon and just a little bit of hydrogen. Number 20 is D. Okay, it's a tough one to answer because the word predominantly is a synonym of mostly. But you're no longer mostly hydrogen, now mostly oxygen and carbon. So no longer mostly hydrogen, no longer predominantly hydrogen core. Hydrogen inside consists of on the inside. Okay, last two, 21. Paragraph 4, though planets are not formed in the same way as brown dwarfs, they may in their current state have some of the same characteristics, share some characteristics as brown dwarfs. C, number 21C. Share some similarities, share some characteristics, similar characteristics or properties. The last one, the planet Jupiter, for example, is the largest planet in our solar system, with a mass 317 times that of our planet, Earth, and resembles a brown dwarf in that, in this manner, it radiates energy based on its internal energy. So in this one way, it resembles a brown dwarf. Jupiter is similar to a brown dwarf in at least one way. 22 is D. In at least one respect. Respect means way, manner. In one way, in one manner, in this way, it is similar. It resembles a brown dwarf in this one manner, in this one respect, in this one way. Okay, again, a lot of astronomy in our book. We're becoming astronomers, okay? Experts at celestial bodies like brown dwarfs. Okay, if there's any questions, ask. That was also tough. It was very scientific and whatnot. But again, you don't have to be an astronomer. You don't have to be an expert on brown dwarfs. I guess if you are, that will help. But you just have to read the passage, find the question, where the question is answered in the passage, read the sentence, and look for an answer with synonyms and restatements. That's really the key. Next page. Understanding negative facts. Now, it's the same thing, but it's opposite. Right? Right is wrong, wrong is right. Confusing, right? Yes. Why? Why is this confusing? Because when you take a test, you're a little bit stressed, there's time and score and, what do you know and what do I not know? And okay, when you take a test, you're under stress and you're focusing on one thing, the right answer. That's what you do. When you take a test, you look for the right answer. That's your job. But here, you're actually looking for the wrong answer. Now, that is more confusing than it is difficult. The answers here are usually clear, but you can easily make a mistake because you're rushing. When you look at an answer, the first thing you do is look for the right answer. Hey, yeah, that's right. Okay, next one. So what I want you to do with these, when we practice, is go slowly. Okay, this is one where too much speed and not enough concentration causes silly mistakes, avoidable mistakes. Right? You're going to go through these slowly and methodically. Okay? Create a system where you see the question. The question has in capital letters not or except. And that's a warning sign. When you see that, I want you to, stop. Okay, put it in your brain. You have to change how your brain thinks. Right is wrong, wrong is right. It's counterintuitive. Stop, take a breath, and go, okay, wrong is right, right is wrong. I'm looking for the wrong answer. And what is the wrong answer? Well, the wrong answer is the right answer. Right? Okay, let's take a look. Many people are quite familiar with rainbows, moonbows, by the way. Moonbow, rainbow? But few are as familiar with moonbows. Rainbows are caused by sunlight hitting raindrops and bouncing back. That's where you get the spectrum, right? The light spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, green. No, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. In English, we say Roy G. Biv. You could see a rainbow when the sun is low in the sky behind you and it is raining ahead of you. Light reflects off the raindrops and comes back. So, number one, the sky is low in the sky. Yes, it's true. So therefore, wrong. Right is wrong, wrong is right. B, the sun is in front of you. No, the sun is behind you. Wrong. C, it is raining in front of you. Yes. D, the sun's rays are reflected off the raindrops. Yes. So number one, the four answers are yes, no, yes, yes. No is right. Got it? B. So what you should do while you're practicing, okay, remember our class is not a test, it's preparation for the test. So in preparing for the test, you want to develop good habits. You can get these questions right almost every time, but if you're not careful, you'll make a silly mistake and get it wrong. You go, oh, A is true, A is right, A, move on. So get into the habit of reading all four answers. It takes time, but on the practice exercises, it's good. Read them all and just say to yourself, yes, no, yes, yes. No is right, yes is wrong. B. Number two, it is not indicated, not. Okay, that word not is your signal to stop, switch how you think, look for the wrong answer. Moonbows are far less common than rainbows, but they are formed in much the same way. They require a very specific set of circumstances to happen. When they do occur, they occur just after a full moon. A moon at its brightest has risen in the east, come up in the east, above the horizon, and the sun has just set in the west. So right as the sun goes down, the moon comes up. It must be raining in the west, okay? Over here, raining. In this situation, a moonbow may be visible to you if you are facing west and the moon is behind you. So the moon basically acts like the sun. It's a big full moon just above the horizon. You know how the moon looks bigger? The full moon always looks bigger right when it comes up. That's an optical illusion. The moon actually isn't bigger. It's the same size, but it seems bigger. So that big, bright, full moon is acting like a sun reflecting off the rain, and you get what's called a moonbow right after sunset. A, where the moon must be in the sky. Yes. B, at what time of day moonbows occur? Yes, sunset. That's a time of day, sunset. It's one time every day. C, which direction you must be facing? West. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And D, in which parts of the world? No, that doesn't talk about that. Number two, yes, 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 no. D, no is right, yes is wrong. Page 58, as always, read, okay? Notice, read this box, please. It's really important. You will get these right most of the time with proper practice and a good technique. Okay? It is not, except. Those two words are your signals to stop, take a breath, switch how you think, and go through it. Yes, no, yes, 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 no. Okay? Good. Let's practice. Flatfish. You know, I love eating raw flatfish. Hui, that's very popular here. What do you call it? Guangao. Very delicious. Okay, let's read about those and other flatfish. Give yourself as much time as you need, okay? Take your time, answer these questions slowly and methodically, and hopefully get them right. Try flatfish, go ahead. Okay, members of the flatfish family, sanddabs and flounders have an evolutionary, evolving, changing over time, over many colorfully decorated ocean neighbors, in that they are able to adapt, to adjust, to change their body coloration to different environments. So number one, sanddabs are not colorfully decorated. Their neighbors, other ocean fish, can be very colorful, but sanddabs and flounders are not. So sanddabs are A, flatfish, yes. B, same as flounders, same family, yes. C, they've evolved, evolutionary advantage, yes. D, they are not, no. They are not colorful. Their neighbors are, other fish are. Yes, 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 no. D. Number two, these aquatic chameleons, like, I guess you use the same word in Korean. Chameleon is a type of lizard, but aquatic means in the water. So these are chameleons underwater in the ocean, chameleons. Well suited to life along the ocean floor in the shallow areas of the continental shelf that they inhabit. Remember inhabitant? Habitat? They live in the shallow area. Therefore, 2C. Deepest, no. Deep, shallow. Shallow is not deep. It's the opposite of deep. So right is wrong, wrong is right. A, they are flat, yes. B, they live on the ocean floor, yes. D, they live on the continental shelf, yes. C, no. The continental shelf is not the deepest part of the ocean. The continental shelf is sort of like a shelf, like you can see behind me, the shelf where the professor would put his chalk. Okay, that's a shelf, like a bookshelf. You put your books and things like that. Well, next to the east coast of North America, we have this thing called the continental shelf. It's very shallow. It used to be land, but then all the glaciers, Bingha, they melted, the ocean got higher, and now the land is not there, and it's called the continental shelf. Like in Korea, like on the west coast, the ocean is very shallow, right, in the Yellow Sea. But on the east coast, it's very deep. There's no shelf. Okay? Very similar, opposite west-east to the U.S., but a similar type of situation. Number 3, they have remarkably sensitive color vision that registers, that notices. To register is to notice, make note of something. The subtlest gradations on the sea bottom. Subtlest, the tiniest changes, gradations, changes, levels of color. And the sea life around them. So they can see colors well. They can see the bottom of the ocean well, because they live on it. And they're very aware of their surroundings. Okay? They're registering, they're noticing the tiniest changes in color. So number 3, A, doesn't talk about being sensitive to light. A, no. B, yes. C, yes. D, yes. The answer is A. Chromatophores are pigment-carrying skin cells. Okay, so number 4, they are skin cells. A, yes. They carry pigment, yes. They adapt to surrounding colors, yes. D, they change the ocean floor. No, of course not. These little things inside the fish don't change the ocean. They notice the ocean, the changes in the ocean floor, and then they change to match the color of the ocean floor. A, yes. B, yes. C, yes. D, no. Number 4 is D. And number 5, each time that a sand dab or flounder finds itself in a new environment, a new location, the pattern on the body of the fish adapts to fit in with the color and the texture around it. A, finds itself in a new environment? Yes, moves to a new environment. B, adapts their behavior? No. C, they change color? Yes. And D, they change the texture, adapt to the texture. A, yes. B, no. C, yes. D, yes. The answer is B. They don't change their behavior stays the same. They go to a new environment, they notice the texture and the color of the ocean floor, and they change. Their behavior doesn't change, their color and texture changes. So they have camouflage. Remember camouflage, a perfect example of aquatic camouflage. Let's do one more together. Page 60, passage number 2, limestone caves. Let's go caving. All right, go ahead, take your time. Remember the pattern. Yes, no, yes, yes. Find the wrong answer, which is the right answer. Go ahead. Okay, number 1. It is indicated that all of the following are part of the process of forming limestone caves, except, well, the rainwater comes down, obviously. Gravity makes it go down. And the lime-laden water, okay, lime-laden means full of, filled with, right? Laden means holding, having, filled with. You know, a ladle, remember we talked about the Big Dipper, and we really call that dipper now a ladle. A ladle, you put it in the soup and you fill it. It's filled with soup or liquid of some sort. Lime-laden water is filled with lime, holding a lot of lime. It drips into the cracks, enlarging the cracks into caves, and then it's redeposited to form the stalactites and stalagmites. Number 6, A, rainwater dissolves lime from the limestone. Yes, the lime from the limestone it comes out, right? And number B, the lime-filled water, lime-laden water seeps into the cracks in the ground. Yes. D, the cracks in the ground develop into caves. Yes, that's the last sentence. Second last sentence, enlarging the cracks into caves. C, the lime in the water evaporates. No, the water evaporates, the lime stays. Lime-laden water is water with this lime, sort of rock, kind of a weak rock. And that lime stays as the water evaporates, goes away. So the lime doesn't evaporate, the water does. C is wrong, therefore C is right. Paragraph 2, stalactites grow down from the cave ceilings. They're coming down, sticking down, like a knife coming down from the ceiling. So where are they found? Limestone caves. B, yes. They grow downward. C, yes. They grow slowly. Yes. A fraction of an inch each year. A fraction of an inch means less than an inch. So an inch is 2.5 centimeters. So it'll grow maybe a centimeter a year. Slowly. Very slowly. BS, CS, DS, A, no. Number 7A. Number 8. So at the end of paragraph 2, stalactites grow only a fraction of an inch each year, but over time a considerable number, many, may grow to be several yards long. A yard is almost a meter, so several meters long. In cases where the supply of water is seasonal. Now, seasonal means in many countries in the world, you don't have 4 seasons. You have 2. You have rainy season and dry season. Dry season, no water. Rainy season, a lot of water. They may actually have growth rings resembling those on tree trunks that indicate how old the stalactites are. You know, on a tree, the rings shows you the age. Same thing, because they'll grow maybe a centimeter a year, one, because it's very cut and dry. It's not a gradual growth. It's like it'll grow and then stop for 6 months, and then grow during the monsoon season and stop, and then grow. So it'll have these rings showing you how old it is. Number 8 is D. It doesn't talk about them disappearing. Automatically, D is wrong, so D is right. A, yes, B, yes, C, yes, D, no. Number 9, paragraph 3, stalagmites are formed on the floor of a limestone cave where water containing dissolved lime has dripped from the cave ceiling or from a stalactite above. Drip, 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 drip. And it lands in the same place. Drip, drip, drip. And slowly, as the drip lands, the water evaporates, but the lime stays there. A little bit of lime deposit. And then another. Water gone, lime. And then another. Lime. And then another. And slowly it grows up from the cave floor up towards the ceiling. Number 9, A, yes, on the floor. B, yes, from the lime, same as a stalactite, from the lime that was dissolved in the water. B, above stalactites? No. Stalactites are above stalagmites. Stalactites grow down, stalagmites grow up. D, as water evaporates, same thing as stalactites, yes. AS, BS, DS, C, no. C is the right answer. They're not above. They're below them. And D, the last thing is the pillar. Now, a pillar is when a stalactite grows down and a stalagmite grows up and they connect. And it forms one. And that's a pillar. Okay? One all together. So, A, when they grow together, yes. B, attached to the floor and the ceiling, yes. C, relatively aged, mature. Mature, aged, there's your synonym. D, are more durable. Doesn't say, we don't know. It doesn't talk about that. It is not indicated, like the question says. Number 10, D. All right. Okay, again, you don't have to be a limestone cave expert. Okay, just read the sentence and look for the answer with the wrong information or information that's not stated, and that's the right answer. Very good. Homework. Passages 3 and 4, Wrigley's Chewing Gum. It's the oldest chewing gum company in America. And passage 4, dissociative identity disorder. Split personality. Dissociate is like separate. So a split personality. Some people, it's rare, but some people have more than one personality. Okay, and then I want you to do John Muir. This one's a bit tough. John Muir is a very famous man in American history. He was basically our first real environmentalist. He's a hero to many people in the US, and he was very much ahead of his time. Right? Now we're very concerned about the environment, which is great, but John Muir in the US was concerned about it when nobody else was. And this was, more than 100 years ago. And luckily, he was able to do things to help the environment and help nature in our country. So I want you to do the John Muir exercise on page 63. Read it, and then page 64, 65. These are just skills 5 and 6, right? So factual questions and negative factual questions, 1 through 13. When you do the John Muir exercise, time yourself. Try to finish it in 20 minutes or less. Now, I know I told you to go slower with the negative ones, but go slower. And today, you were supposed to go slowly in the practice. And when you do the homework, passages 3 and 4, go slowly. Take your time, develop a method, develop a system of answering them. Now, on the practice test, push yourself to use that system to answer everything in the right amount of time. So in 20 minutes, try to finish John Muir and the 13 questions. When you do the homework and you finish, please tell me, it took me X minutes to finish the John Muir exercise. Stop there. Okay, stop there. We'll review it after the midterm, and then we'll continue with the next review passage after the midterm. But I do want you to do the homework this week by Thursday. Okay, any questions about that? Just let me know. It said in the notes that we'll review it next week, but really we'll review it in 2 weeks when the next video lecture is in 2 weeks. There's no video lecture next week. It's just the online test. Okay, let's do listening. Page 145. The homework, here we're looking at skill number 3. Skill number 3 is understanding the function. Why does the professor say mo? Okay, skill 3, passage 3, zoology. Zoology, if you don't know what zoology is, you can guess by the first 3 letters. Zoo, animals. Zoology is the study of animals. So what is the opossum? I don't know, but I do know it's an animal. If the title says zoology, the momomo, the species of animal, the elephant, the leopard, right? The hippopotamus, the opossum, opossums, the animal opossum. All right, now if you want to go to page 587, I believe, 587. Yes, it starts on page 587. You can listen again or you can read the script. I'm quickly going to go over the answers. Number 10. Now, this is tricky. The woman says, oh, a marsupial, I think we're supposed to know what that is. Now, even though she says we, she means me. We're supposed to know. We must know what a marsupial is, but I don't know what it is. She's not saying everybody doesn't know. She's saying, I don't know, but I should. Number 10 is D. D. Okay, again, it's not A. She's not saying nobody knows. She's saying, I don't know, and we should all know. I hope you guys know, because I don't know. Well, we learn a marsupial is an animal that carries its baby in a pouch, in a pocket. And of course, the most famous is the kangaroo. Number 11. Number 11, well, the woman says the young opossums stay in their mother's pouch for a few days. No, not exactly. No, that's not exactly right. You're not exactly right. A, not exactly right, not completely correct. Total restatement, synonyms. Number 12, you got it. Okay, you got it. To get something is to understand it. If a teacher says, do you get it? Did you get it? Did you understand it? Yes, I got it. I get it. I understand. See, you got it means you understand, or that's right. And number 13, oh, wait a minute. Remember, when somebody makes a mistake, it's not an accident, right? it's part of a script. So expect a question. I don't think it's opossums that played it. Oh, wait a minute. B. Let me think again. Reconsider my answer. My answer was wrong. I'm changing it. I'm reconsidering my answer. B. 13 is B. Okay? Again, mistakes are not accidents. Always expect a question when you hear a mistake like that. Yeah, we say playing possum or opossum. Possum, opossum, same. When an animal plays dead, so that the other animal won't try to eat it. Because a lot of animals only eat what they kill. We say this sometimes when somebody's pretending to be asleep or dead or not understand. Like a teacher might say, okay, please show me your homework. And students like, homework? We didn't have homework. I didn't know. Did we have homework? I don't know. The student knows he had homework, but he's playing possum. He's pretending to be sort of dead or asleep or not knowing something that he does know. Okay, next. Astronomy, Venus. More astronomy. What do you know? Venus is, in Korean you have a great name for it. You call it gold star, Gumsang, which is a perfect name for Venus, and we're going to learn why. Now, in English, we call it both the morning star and the evening star. Strange, morning star and evening star. Why? Well, it's the first star that we see in the evening. First one. And it's the last star that goes away in the morning. So it's the first and the last star. Now, why? Why is it so bright? Well, it's close to Earth, right? I think it's the closest planet to Earth. So that's one reason it's bright, obviously. But there's another really good reason, and it's connected to the Korean name, Gold Star. Okay, let's review it. 14, now we go to page 588. You don't sound too sure of your answer, Beth. Now, when a teacher says, you don't sound very sure means not confident, not certain. Sometimes a student says, the answer is Earth? You're not really sure, but you have to answer, and the teacher's sort of like, the answer's right, but I was kind of hoping you'd have a stronger feeling. You'd be more sure or more definite in your response. D. Number 14 is D. Number 15. Well, things aren't always what they seem. Try again. This one should have been easy. Whenever a teacher says try again, he or she means wrong. It's a polite way of saying not the right answer. Try again. When a student answers and the teacher says try again, it just means, C, wrong, not correct. Next one, number 16. The temperature there can reach almost to 500 degrees centigrade. Centigrade is the same as Celsius. In the US, we use both. Centigrade, Celsius, exactly the same, degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? We also use Fahrenheit. In fact, our official is Fahrenheit, but a lot of people now are starting to learn more, especially people who travel or work in the travel industry. They know of course, about Celsius. So Fahrenheit, just so you know, it's 900 Fahrenheit. It's very complicated. You basically, because Fahrenheit starts at 32 and Celsius starts at 0. So if you have degrees Celsius, you add 32 and then you times it by, 9/5, almost double it to get the Fahrenheit. So 20 degrees Celsius would be roughly 70, 68, 69 degrees. So 20 is about 68, 69 Fahrenheit. Okay, come on, we've talked about this before. Now, when a teacher says, come on, they're a little disappointed. They're a little impatient, because the students should know the answer. Boom, this is the answer. Good, boom, this is the answer. The teacher is checking to make sure the students did their homework, did the reading, understood it. Question, boom, question, boom, question, boom, answer. Good. But not today. I was hoping you'd have a more definite answer. You don't seem very sure of your answer. Come on. We've talked about this. Why don't you know the answer? Okay. A, the students should know the answer. Okay. This is good to remember. Come on. 17, could it be the atmosphere? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be as a suggestion? Sometimes a teacher will suggest an answer. Is this it? Could it be this? Could it be this? Yes. Trying to lead the students into the answer. B, to suggest an answer to a question she has just asked. Number 18, the clouds around Venus. Yes, I'm asking about the clouds around Venus. I want to know more, or I want to know about the clouds around Venus, or more about it. A, more information about the clouds around Venus. And number 19, again, a mistake. When you hear this kind of mistake, oops, no, wait a minute. Oh, no, hold on. Change. It means I'm changing my answer. 19 is D, changing the answer. Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait, stop. Change that. Students do it all the time. We all do it all the time. We all make little mistakes and then change what we say. And in English, one expression is, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Just like this. Now, for the interesting question, Gold Star. Right? Why is it called Gold Star? Well, we now know that it's close to Earth, but also it's surrounded by clouds. We never actually see Venus. You don't see the planet. It's completely surrounded by clouds all the time. And those clouds are made of what? Sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid? Do you remember fool's gold? What was in fool's gold? Iron and sulfur. And the sulfur is an element that's bright, bright yellow. And that's what makes the gold look like gold, that yellow sulfur. So sulfuric acid is a yellow colored acid. Therefore, when the sun shines on Venus, it's shining on this yellow cloud around it, which makes it really bright and it looks like gold. Therefore, the same thing that makes fool's gold look like gold is what makes Venus look like a gold star, the sulfur, or in this case, the sulfuric acid. All right, let's move on. Today, we're going to start skill 4, understanding the speaker's stance. Stance means your position, how you feel, what is your opinion. It's used in, sports too, literally how you stand, right? How do you stand on this issue? Well, I think we should, That's stance and opinion. But also imagine we say, like a baseball player getting ready to hit the ball, right? That's called your batting stance, okay? Your position getting ready to swing, getting ready for the pitch. Soccer goalie, okay? A goalkeeper in a penalty kick, right? He or she has to be ready for the kick. They're in a specific stance, position, preparing for the penalty kick. Okay. So how does the person feel? When you're listening in TOEFL, of course, listen for details and facts and main ideas, but also notice the feeling. How does the person feel? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they excited? Are they disappointed, angry? How does the professor feel? How does the student feel? Don't focus on feeling, but be aware of it. So as you're listening and you're focusing on the main points and the details and whatnot, as you're listening, in the back of your mind, notice, the student sounds very confused, or the teacher's very disappointed, or the teacher's very satisfied with the student's answer, or this kind of thing. Be aware of it. Let's try the practice one. So listen and you can answer question 1 and question 2. Go ahead. When you're finished, come back. Okay, number 1, how does the woman seem to feel? Well, notice she's really, really positive. Do you enjoy playing chess? Well, you might think about joining the chess club. I belong. I enjoy it. You might enjoy it. I like it. Positive, 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 positive. She's very positive. B, she thinks it's wonderful. A, negative. C, negative. D, negative. She's not negative, she's positive. That's how she feels. Number 2, which sentence expresses how the man feels? Now, not just his words, but listen to his voice, his tone of voice, right? The girl, the lady is very happy and very positive. Her voice sounds up. The man's like, it sounds fun, but I'm not, not that good, right? When somebody's like, they're not really comfortable. They're not really confident about something. I mean, he likes the idea, but he doesn't want to play in a competition. I'm not that good. Maybe I can play for fun and learn, but C. My voice sounds uncomfortable, and my opinion is uncomfortable about playing in tournaments. I just want to play for fun and learn. C. Number 2 is C. Okay, again, please read the introduction here. Read the box, the shaded box on page 151, very important. And do that, for homework on your own time. But now let's do 2 passages here together. Passage 1, consultation, course load. Now, load is something you carry, like a burden, right? If you're carrying a heavy load in your backpack, you're carrying a lot of weight in your backpack. Course, well, a course is something you study, like you are taking our English course, our TOEFL course. So are you carrying it in a backpack? Well, not exactly, but it's part of your course load. How many courses you are taking at one time. So, are you taking 6 classes this semester? Then that's your course load. Are you taking 7, 5, 8? That is your course load, the number of courses you are taking. Let's listen. Passage 1. Please listen and answer the questions. Go ahead. Okay. Number 1, how does the student seem to feel? Well, she's very, very, very positive. I like taking the maximum. I want to take the maximum. I want to get into grad school. I want this. Positive, positive, positive. B, positive. Best thing to do. A is negative. C is not, it's sort of only done when necessary. Is a little bit negative. It basically means you only do it if you have to. No, she wants to do it. Okay? And D is wrong. She's not in graduate school. She wants to go into graduate school. That's why she's taking the maximum number. Number 1, B. Number 2, the advisor is basically saying, well, you're taking the maximum number of courses, so I don't think you have enough time to put sufficient time and effort. Sufficient means enough. Okay? If you're so busy, you don't have enough time to give your full effort to your courses. So it's more important to give a stronger effort and get better grades in fewer courses. Instead of getting so-so grades in more courses, I advise you to take fewer courses and get higher grades. Number 2 is C. C. Okay. Passage 2, a questionnaire. We have 2 students sitting in the grass in a park on campus. So they're not in the classroom. It's a personal discussion between 2 students. And a questionnaire is a kind of survey. So they're talking about some survey that they have to do. Let's listen and answer passage 2, questions 3 and 4. All right, question 3, how does the man seem to feel? Well, right away, okay, the woman says, this is an interesting assignment. The man says, interesting? When somebody repeats a word with a question, it means they don't agree. That was a great movie last night, wasn't it? Great movie? Means I don't agree. Wasn't that test easy? Easy? I thought it was hard. Okay, you disagree. So it's not interesting. He says it's going to be a lot of work, or what's another word for a lot of work? A lot of effort. Synonym. Always look for synonyms. Number 3 is D. It'll be a lot of work, not interesting, not fun, a lot of work, a lot of effort. The man is a bit negative about this questionnaire. Number 4, how does the woman seem to feel? Well, how the woman feels, she goes, it's going to be interesting. It's, oh, what's so hard? It's not hard. What's so hard about it means it's not hard. It's not hard. It's easy. We just have to. We only have to. We just is like emphasizing a small amount. Just this. Well, we just have to read one book. We only have to do this. Okay? So she's very positive, and she thinks, A, it will be fun. Enjoyable, fun, not difficult. Okay? The man, a lot of work, a lot of effort. Number 3, D. The woman, what's so hard about it? We just have to do this, only this. It's fun, it's A, it's enjoyable. All right. So, homework. Passage 3 and passage 4. Yes, that's enough. And we'll review them after the midterm in 2 weeks. So page 154 and 155, passages 3 and 4. I sent you the listening files for that. Please finish the listening. Please finish all the reading. Please tell me the time it took you, not for everything and not for all the reading. No, some of you are not understanding exactly. In your email to me, only tell me the time it took you to do the review reading exercise, John Muir. So please say, I finished all the reading, I finished all the listening, and it took me X minutes to complete the John Muir review reading passage. Got it? Okay. So next week, that homework is due on Thursday of this week. And then next week, in your class time, we will have our midterm test. Then I will review this homework and continue and review the test and continue in the class in 2 weeks' time. Okay, week number 10. If you're confused or you have any questions at all, please ask me in your email to me this week or anytime. At any time, I welcome questions from you. So I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful week. Study hard, prepare well. Good luck on your other midterms, and I'll talk to you later on this week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.